Have we started?
I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
good, because we're not editing. Okay. Welcome to Noob, Novice, Amateur, ranking Marvel Snap Cards, June 2025. Right here below me, we have our noob. Introduce yourself, Ben.
I don't know if it's gonna be the exact same
It is
direction
the
on
same
Alex's.
orientation on my computer. Yeah.
Okay, it's not on mine. He just pointed at you. So um, I'm Ben Prass.
Negative.
Uh,
Introduce yourself and your experience with the card game Marvel Snap.
I downloaded and installed Marvel Snap when a YouTube short came across my feed asking if Marvel Snap was banned in the US, and I checked, and it is was.
That's it. Yeah,
We are Novice.
yeah, that's me. My name's Alex, and I've played like 55 hours of Marvel Snap. Reached Infinite once, like a couple years ago, and then haven't played it since. So yeah.
Meet our amateur. My name's Joseph. I played several hundred hours of Marvel Snap. I don't know, probably about four. And way too much time. I've been a free to play player the whole time, strangely. Uh, and I usually try to keep up with the meta game. I hit infinite sometimes. I don't know. When I try, I'm more likely to do it. But we're going to be ranking the cards. My opinion will be right because I have the most experience with the card game. That's not true, but let's get started.
Sweet.
Okay, let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we probably should have tested the share screen feature before.
We probably should have.
Um,
Is it going? We're not editing this one because we don't have time.
I mean, when you say we, I mean you, you mean you, but the fact that I'm recording it means I could easily edit
Yeah, but we're not. We don't have time.
it.
But it needs to get up tomorrow because the
Right,
season starts tomorrow.
right,
So
right.
it needs to get up before tomorrow at like
mhm.
noon for you guys.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
Because
currently getting no
we
screen.
know currently getting no screen. I love that. It's wonderful. Oh yeah, okay. That would be because I started the slideshow before I
You didn't
had
click share
tested
screen.
that I before share screen had it had like popped. It was popping up the box. This is gonna be great content. Um, okay, can you see it now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first card. This is our season pass card. It is a Merlin. It is 2 energy, 3 power. At the start of each turn, add an incantation to your hand. Alex, since you last played, they've added what they sometimes refer to as skills. These are cards that don't stay on the board. So, um, Merlin, if at the start of each turn, is going to add one of these skills to your hand. Uh, First, Omniversal Presence. On reveal, replace this location with a new one and give Merlin +2 power.
Interesting.
Once in future, on reveal, shuffle your lowest power card into your deck to get +2 energy next turn. And Polymorph. Transform your lowest power card here into one that costs 2 more.
And you get one
Do
of these into your
Polymorph
hand.
get edited to be 1 more? Yeah, Polymorph might have changed to be 1 more with the official release. I might these were the beta mine versions when we made the slideshow, but the official cards have come out. Um, yeah, so if you play Merlin on 1 or on 2, right? The earliest you can normally play them. On 3, 4, 5, and 6, you will get one of these cards added to your hand, and then you can play it if you
And they're different each time. Like you will get all
want.
three of these throughout the course of the game if you play it on turn two. No.
No, I think
Okay.
it is random each time. So you will get one of them each time. So we always start with our new. Ben, you ready to analyze
Yeah.
these cards? cards?
Yeah, so I have some mixed feelings about Merlin here. Um, I don't know what the base stat for a unit is, but I assume he's not base statted because he has an ability. Um, on top of that, um,
You would assume wrong.
and he has.
Sorry, keep going.
I have like two thoughts about Merlin. One of why I have like two thoughts on like why he could be bad, and one thought on why he could be good. When I look at why I think he's bad, is because you have to spend an energy, meaning that you're playing behind curve now, and playing other card games recently. Right now that I'm playing behind my curve, like by playing these cards, that I'm not doing too much. Um, on top of that, I don't think the people that make a game about Marvel characters would particularly want Merlin to be a very good card. Um, right? He doesn't seem like a mainstay for the Marvel universe as much as other characters, so I can't imagine it being too good. Along with, um, you said it was the season pass card, which makes it seem like it's going to be even worse, right? Since they're giving it to everyone. But polymorph logo could be pretty solid if you could get it, because I remember Joseph telling me about a card that just gives you a bunch of random cards, and that card being really good. But
Oh, I'm not
overall, I
sure it
do think
was good,
Merlin's
but I
probably
loved it. I still love it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't interrupt your
yeah.
analysis. Um, Ben, we didn't go over vanilla stats. 2-3 is the vanilla stat line. Now, Marvel Snap vanilla stat line is just bad. You can get 2-3 with ability. You can have vanilla stat line with ability. So there isn't, yeah. But
Okay.
yeah. Feel free to ask a question like that if you want. Like, what's the vanilla stat line for two? You can ask those kind of questions. Ben, we have a 10-point rating scale uh, where five, um, six is like it's kind of mad, but it's like okay, maybe you could include. Five is like it's mad, maybe you could include, but it would probably make the deck slightly worse, right? So that's like 5, 6.
Mm-hmm.
10 is game warping. It changes the meta. Um, does that make that kind of scale make sense?
Yeah.
Any,
Merlin, I'd probably put at like a 4, 3 or 4 if I had to guess.
okay, Alex, what do you think about Merlin?
Yeah, I think it's funny how much like meta behind the scenes been used to determine that the cards would probably be worse. It's like, oh, it's Marvel, probably not Merlin. But really, in Marvel Snap, or so I've heard, that like every card they put out is gonna be good, and so they don't need fluff like they do in Lorcana, where they just post tons of bad cards. So like almost every single card they put out is actually just straight up good. So just saying cards are good is the safe bet in general in this. Um, so it's like the behind the scenes that Ben didn't know about. But I think he, I don't know, I'm not crazy impressed by these cards that he has. Um, Once in the future, like getting 2 extra energy does seem like that's a lot of energy, but replace, I don't know, there's a lot of flexibility here. Replacing a location, and you do get one per turn. So that is a thing that I forgot about. You get one per turn. And like replacing a location can be quite powerful. But these only affect the area that Merlin is at, correct?
So like these cards, you play them, right? You get added to your hand. They
Right.
disappear when they go. This omniversal presence will affect the location you play it on.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the location you play them
Okay.
for
Yeah,
like
so
transforming or shuffling the lowest.
okay. Okay. I'm pretty sure that transforming locations, having that flexibility sounds pretty powerful. And if polymorph is 2 or more, I'm not crazy impressed, but I'm gonna give him like a 7, low 7. Yeah.
Okay, so most cards are good in Marvel Snap. Like new cards, it's rare for them to go below like a 6 in our scale, right? And as they slowly power creep everything else, other things drift down that scale, right? Cards that used to be 6s or 7s. The season pass card, Ben, is a paid season pass, and so it is always good.
Oh,
In fact, one of the rules about the season pass is if it isn't good now, they'll buff it, so it's better when it sells. It sells season pass cards, um, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily good now, right? Like 2 seasons ago, we had a season pass card that was probably like it was like running at like a 7, and then they buffed it, and now it's like an 8. Captain Carter on our scale. I personally think this card is great. Claim behind curve is a consideration in a lot of card games. Marvel Snap, often you are okay with playing behind curve, I feel like. Um, I just because uh, you want to fill your curve, right? This is more curve fill than playing behind. Um, None of these take a spot. That makes them good. Um, if they took a spot, it'd be a lot worse. But the fact that they don't means that they can add a little bit of oomph to stuff without clogging your own board. Um, and so just small oomph curve fill without clogging, I think will be really good. Um, polymer Omniversal Presence, I think will just be decent. Polymorph, I think will do crazy thing, and I think Once in Future will be the best. I'm gonna rank this a 9 out of 10 on our scale. Morgan Le
so you're saying I was
Fay.
right.
I'm saying we'll see. We'll see, Ben. But if you were right, you won't be right for the whole season. Because they will buff it. Uh, uh, which is strange. I totally, with the amount I've played this game, I should have bought a season pass by now. Morgan Le Fay, a on reveal. On reveal means when you play it, there's kind of you have a staging phase where both player chooses their cards and then they flip over. And when this reveals flips over, you return all your discarded and destroyed cards to your hand with +3 power. Ben.
Um, can you just play as many cards as you have energy for?
Uh, Energy and space are your two restrictions, but yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because it just feels pretty good if you could play this and get a bunch of cheap units that are now statted even better than she is, right? Has more power.
Mhm.
Obviously, this all depends on you having discarded and destroyed cards. Um, but I would probably say, like, it really depends on how often things get destroyed and discarded. I will say it's a 7, low 7.
So last I
Alex?
played, I don't think the I don't think the destroy deck was very good. It was fun. I don't know. So obviously it depends on the meta, but my instinct is that she wouldn't make the dest. I'm gonna say the destroyed deck is bad, and she isn't going to change that, and so I'm gonna give her a 4.
So, it's discarded and destroyed, right? So you have it could go in the discard deck. And Ben, for your information, these are self-discard and self-destroy. You don't have a ton of control of your opponent doing that, but you can destroy your own cards pretty freely with some other cards. And honestly, I think this is just too high cost. You have to play this on turn 4 or 5, and you'll have to destroy or discard the cards you want by them. I think it will not work in destroy um, in the slightest. It might work in discard, but then in discard, it might just discard itself. Your best discard targets, you don't need to worry about that. I think this will be interesting. It's too slow. It's too slow. You got to play on 4 or 5, and then you need to spend the energy. You have to have discarded something, then you need to play this, and then you need to spend the energy to play the cards to get the advantage off. If you spend 2 cards, it's like a 4-11. There's cards that are 4-10 out of the box. This is too much work for not enough stuff. I was going to say 5, but I have worked myself down. I'm going to give this a 4. Uh, the ancient one.
Exactly what I said.
On reveal, when you flip it over, you add, add um, the Tau Medela to your hand. I kept reading that as two Mandela. No, it's just a Tau Medela. The Tau Medalla is the little glowy things that the sorcerers use in the MCU. It says on reveal, copy the text of your ongoing cards here onto your other characters here. So ongoing is a perpetual effect, Ben. It's an effect that just keeps going. One example is Blue Marvel. He's got an effect where all your other cards get +1 power. So if you play this is once again a skill. It will disappear, I believe. I'm gonna feel awkward if these don't end up doing that, but I believe it'll disappear. And so if you play this, it'll pick one of your ongoing cards randomly. If it lands on Blue Marvel, it will give that to the other characters. So it could give 2 Blue Marvel powers to the other 2 characters. Ben, what
Go
do you think?
back to the
Yeah, it's a 3/5.
um
Vanilla stat line is 3/4. This is
yeah. I do think this ability is rather weak. It depends on what is on your board, right? And not only does it copy it, it reads as if it replaces it. Am I reading that right? It replaces someone else's text? Maybe
uh,
not.
it might honestly. Um, like an on reveal effect like this, Ben, will have already been used up, right? A lot of cards are on reveal, and
Mhm.
so your idea would be you'd be taking your ongoing an effect that's still happening and replacing the on reveal effects, right? That have already been used.
Okay.
And then this card disappears.
Nonetheless, I don't think giving the example is like +1 to every unit in your row is going to be particularly strong. Obviously, there's going to be good on reveal effects, but they need to be on your board. And I'm assuming the best on reveal or sorry, best ongoing effects are going to be things that you get later in the game, not super early. And this is a 3 cost card, and so you're already halfway through the game. So it's not like too slow, but I feel like it's just going to be a little too slow for trying to get you other things abilities when if you're playing to curve, which I know we said wasn't that important. It's getting you a 1 or 2 drop, or is it 1, 2, or 3 drops ability? Overall, I'm gonna say like 4.
Okay,
Okay, Alex, what do you think?
yeah, I think this card is pretty like expensive, but I got into Infinite with an ongoing deck, and I'm just picturing some crazy wombo combo where you get Wong duplicated twice, and I don't is Wong I forget exactly what Wong does. Is it when you play an auto reveal effect it like triggers twice or something?
It triggers twice, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just picturing like 3 Wongs at a
Mhm.
location, and then just like playing some big 6 drop with the auto reveal effect. Um, and then just like I don't know what potential this has, but my instinct is that that's kind of crazy. It does cost quite a bit, but like having three Wongs at a location feels kind of insane. Um, obviously that's one specific scenario, but my instinct says like I'm gonna. It's a little expensive though, so I'll say an 8 instead of a 9. I'll go with 8.
Hmm. I think this card is a bit awkward. The 3/5 is a great stat line, though. So it's got kind of a premium stat line for a 3 drop. So it has that going for it right off the bat. That is a pretty card. Um, yeah, that's a good stat line for a 3 drop. So the question is the Tau Mandala worth it? I think the Tau Mandala will be very fun. Um, I think it will be often a turn 6 play. So you'll play like 2 3s on turn 6. Um, you could try like, you know, her into Wong into Tao, and then turn 5 you've got like double Wongs or something. But you can always do double Wongs with Mystique. I don't think that's going to be the thing. Sorry, Alex.
Sad.
Um, I think it's going to be about a 7. I think it's going to be a really fun card, but not the best card of the season. Okay, Nightmare, I believe his power and cost have changed, which is always an interesting sign when they have to nerf a card before it comes out. I mean, nerf from what they were testing with. So it is now a 3 power, 3 cost, -1 power card. On reveal, replace the text of each card in your hand with text from a random card of the same cost.
Uh, I know nothing here. Um, I feel like I'm going to say like legitimately, I feel like I need to say like 10 here because the fact that they're giving like the fact that originally they're like a 2-2 stat line is going to be good and then they're like 3-1. I feel like the odds of them over nerfing a card from like the little bit I know just so quickly over nerfing it just doesn't seem likely. So I'm going to say this is like 10 potential.
Uh, this card's kind of spooky. Right, because I think the idea of the ability is that you run tons of cards with downsides, and then it just replaces all the downsides with potential upsides. And then craziness can ensue. And I can think of a couple cards that have really bad downsides with gigantic stat lines. When I say a couple, I mean exactly one. So, but yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. I think Ben might like they needed to nerf it. 2 cost was too much or too little. Um, so it sounds quite strong. I think there's a lot of, but if you don't hit it, does your deck just suddenly become bad? That's the concern for me, I think. And so I'll just say I'll play it. I'll give it a 6, and yeah,
So Nightmare, there is a deck right now that runs cards with bad effects. And there's another card that in a more limited way just cancels out those effects. It's called a Sauron deck. Um, and so there's currently a deck that is doing well in the meta. And so I think at 2/2, it would have bumped that card up from like a tier 2 deck or probably like a tier 2 deck into a tier 1 deck, right? I don't know if it does that at 3 -1. So that's the real question. Like, there is a home for this. It will go in that deck, and it will be great in that deck. And so the question is, can that deck become more meta relevant with this? I'm gonna say it can. I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. It would have been higher. I think at 2-2 it would have been a much clearer call that deck would have been just because you get it down sooner, so it replaces those effects
Hmm.
easier. It's just so much easier to weave a 2 into your gameplay than a 3. And also a -1 is way worse than a 2. Like that's not good. Um, but the deck exists. I think it's an 8. I think it's good. Clea. Clea, I believe, is a 1-2 now instead of a 1-1. She got buffed after the data mines. When this permanently gains power, add Flames of Faltine to your hand. So, Ben, there could be a card that says, hey, give +1 power to all the cards in your hand. Okay. If that happened, Clea got +1 power, you would add the Flames of Faltine into your hand. Okay. Or you could have a card that says, hey, give all your other cards at this location +1 power. Leia would add Flames of Faltine into your hand. Flames of Faltine is a one. It's a skill again because they're just trying to play with skills in this season. And when you play it, it says on reveal, afflict an enemy card here with -3 power. So it's a 1 cost -3 that doesn't take a space. Um, is what the Flames of Faltine are. And she's a 1-2. Questions, Ben?
Okay. And if we're being completely honest, we're never playing her, right? The goal is just to have her in your hand and get Flames of Faltine, which seems like a pretty solid card. A 1-2 doesn't feel like it's right. That's a 1-2 no use on board. That's just not going to see play. So what we're reading here is like -1 card, but then if you can get buffs, you can get Flames of Faltine, right? Um, the question is like how important is a -3? Obviously they buffed, and I really do trust this dev team to buff and nerf cards properly.
Yeah, for
You really do.
um, uh, as that's exactly opposite to what I just said last round. um, but 1-3 does seem fairly powerful, especially given that you don't have you don't take up space for that minus on the enemies. What is the ability possible multiple times? Was that said in the card, or is it just the first time?
Yes, if it gained power multiple times, you would gain multiple Flames of Faltine. Yep.
Yeah. In that case, I feel like this spot will probably have its base in a deck. I don't know which one, but probably just space in a deck. I'll say 8. No, 7. 7.
yeah, a 1 mana 2 powers base stat line. I think that's what Quicksilver had, if I remember correctly. Which
Yeah.
is yeah, which is
One you played Quicksilver.
oh yeah, I Quicksilver play right here for a while. Um, yeah, and as Ben brought up, you don't really want to play 1 mana 1/2 unless it's getting buffs from other things, which there's probably a buff deck out there that's just buffing your small units on the board and could give you tons of these flames. I think that card, the flames, is quite
Only
powerful.
in
Just playing it over and over and over again and
is
getting
it
minus
not?
3 power. What was that, Ben?
Sorry, I was the ability only when it was in hand, when
Or in play.
it got buffed
No,
in hand,
when this
or
permanently gains
buff?
power. So if it's on board and it gains power, it would
Okay,
also um it gains the Flames of Faltine to your hand. And it
got
says if in hand or in play. I kind of missed that earlier. It probably doesn't work from your deck. A lot of effects don't really work from your deck. Um, yeah.
Because
Sorry. Go ahead, Alex.
yeah, so if you compare, let's say you get like 3 flames, it's like a 4 mana 11 power, which is way above rate. No, 4 mana 10 is out of the box, Joseph referenced. Hmm. Okay. But you can, it's easier to play 1 mana cards. So that's definitely a nice thing. And it doesn't take up,
There's
obviously,
a bunch of sorry. There's a bunch of 4/10s with side quest that you've got
interesting.
to like meet some condition to make the 4/10 happen.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, so this
Um,
side quest, I think is too difficult to make it work. So I'm gonna go with like a 4.
so one thing I know from these videos is that I am tainted by what I originally see and the original opinion I make on them. So when I first saw Clea, I had a negative opinion of her, and it was at the old stat line. And they have significantly buffed her and buffed the Flames of Fontaine. I thought she was bad before. I thought with one negative two, it's just not worth the hassle. There isn't there. I was about to say there isn't buff decks. There is the cards to make buff decks. They're not meta, except for one buff deck, which we call Silver Surfer, but that's specifically about buffing 3 cost cards. And wouldn't work great with Flames of Fontaine. Or with Clea, sorry. So I don't think there's really a great deck for her. So I'm going to say she's about a 6. Um, I'm going to say I think she's a lot better. Her stats really did go up a lot. Like this, Flames of Faltine are now good when they used to be bad. But I'm gonna still say she's a 1/6. I don't see what deck she's going in. And yeah, but her stats are a lot better than they used to be. She used to be a bad card. Dormammu. So at the start of your game, at game start, you begin a summoning ritual to summon Dormammu. And you add the step 1 to your hand. So step 1 of the summoning ritual is a 0 cost card, 0 card skill. On reveal, merge your highest power destroyed card with Dormammu to continue. So you're gonna have to destroy a card in order to play this, but you could do it on the same card turn because I believe it's 0 cost. Ritual step 2 is a 1 cost. On reveal, Dormammu steals 1 power from each card here to continue. So you play this 1 card down, it steals a power from the other cards at that location, and then those power all goes to Dormammu, and you get the next ritual. The third ritual is a 3 cost. On reveal, destroy 2 of your cards here and summon Dormammu. Reminder, Dormammu is not a 7/10 to start, he's actually a 7/11. So this is a summon ritual to summon one big guy, especially since you're going to merge the highest power and steal some power. So probably like a 7/15, 7/16, depending on how big of things you destroy. Ben, sorry, I gotta say your name.
So this card is just bad. Like really, really, really bad. Like no questions asked. This card is horrendous. This is like reading Hades in Lorcana. Any Hades.
Nothing's
There's
as bad
one
as
good
that
Hades.
Hades.
Every other Hades sucks. This is gonna be like a. I feel like I don't know the game well enough to be like this is a 1, even though it feels like a 1. I'm gonna say it's a 2. There might be worse cards. There's probably like Mickey Mouse Trumpeteers out there.
I mean, Hades
Yeah,
is worse than Mickey Mouse
I'm
Trump.
gonna say 2.
Um, Is that true? Anyway, yeah, okay, so obviously the 7 cost on this card, nobody cares about that. It's really a 4 cost card because you have to spend 4 mana for the summoning spells. Can we go back to the summoning spells?
Yes, sir. I believe I got the right costs at the bottom there.
So you have to merge your highest destroy
But
card,
I'm
which
not
is
100.
pretty good. Well, it's pretty good merging your highest powered destroyed card, especially if I there's a couple cards that when you destroy them, they just come back, and so that would count, I assume. And so you're not losing value for them being
Those
destroyed.
would not count.
Those would not count. Okay, I'm gonna go with like a
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be ones that are in your destroyed pool, and something like Wolverine wouldn't be in your destroyed
the summoning ritual 2 spell doesn't do
pool.
you
Sorry.
anything. Well, it does. Wait, summoning ritual spell 2, you steal the power and then you can destroy those units and nobody cares that they're destroyed because they have no power anymore. But destroying 2 you I agree with Ben. I don't think this card's good. I'm gonna give it a 3 though. Joseph, tell us this card is broken.
Uh, I want this card to be good. I don't trust my assessment of it, to be honest. There's a card coming out called Kid Omega. Here's I think how you do this. You play like Kid Omega. It's a card coming up. It lets you destroy a card and like gain its power, and it kind of lets you pre-engage that destroy. It's an activate card, and then um, you also play um, oh, I'm forgetting his name. Venom, who absorbs the power of the cards you destroy. So you can destroy some big power thing, but you're going to have to do that at the latest on turn 4, right? So the biggest thing you're destroying is a turn 3. And then I want it to be good. I feel like Dormammu should be good. I feel like if it's this complicated, it should be good. But I don't know. I don't know. The destroy deck's not good. That's part of the problem. That's one of the reasons I'm wishing that Kudo Mega helps, which is a series 4 card that comes out this season that we're not reviewing. So it's not even a release card, but it will probably go in a deck with Dormammu. Um, here's how I read this card though. Here's why I think this card might be good. Okay, Alex said it was 4 energy, right? 4 energy for 11 plus some other energy that you gather along these rituals. And then 4 power, win a lane. Is that what that means, right? You get them big enough, you 4 power, win a lane. You hopefully get other benefits for destroying it, for destroying the cards. I'm going to give him a 7. I'm not sure if he actually deserves that. The real question is if the destroy stuff will be good. Um, but maybe this guy in Kid Omega will bring destroy back into the meta. But it hasn't been good for a long time. So this is I don't know. The deck's not good. That's the problem. Unlike Nightmare, which is going into a deck that currently is good, this is going into a deck that currently is bad. That's not a good thing to do. That's our cards. The rest of the cards are Series 4 cards. To finish these, we always do a final ranking where you put all 5 cards in order. Merlin, Morgan Le Fay, the Ancient One, Nightmare, Clea, and Dormammu. So Ben, be thinking of your order, and then start speaking about it.
Yeah, I still think, even though you guys said Merlin's, I still think Nightmare is going to be the best card. Still even best that we saw today. I think that card's kind of crazy. Um, and then after that, I'll put Merlin there. Um, After that, I really didn't see any other good cards today. Just kidding. I just don't remember the full list.
You got Morgan Le
Um,
Fay, the Ancient One, Clea, and Dormammu.
um, yeah, it sounds like the Ancient One was more likely to see play than Clea. So the Ancient One, then Clea. And then you guys said the other one is just really bad. The Morgan Le Fay is bad. And then Dormammu is one of the worst cards I've ever seen.
One of the okay, I think my instincts are saying Ancient One number one. So we're going with that. And then we'll go Merlin number two. And then Ben's favorite for number three. I forget his name. Nightmare, yeah. And then number four, I'm gonna put Dormammu. Even though I rated Clea higher than him, I think Dormammu is just gonna be more likely to see play than Clea will. And so Clea is my number five. So, okay, well,
Did you rate Morgan Le Fay?
oh, more, I did not. She'll be, return all discarded destroyed cards. But she costs four. I'll put her above Dormammu as, yep.
So wait, you put her as 3, and then
An
Dormammu, and then
Ancient
Clea.
One, Ancient One, Merlin, Nightmare, Morgan, Dormammu, Clea.
I think there might be 6 cards here.
There are six cards.
Because
There
the
is.
season starts on the 2nd. I still think Merlin's going to be the best card this season. I think I'm going to see a lot of Merlin. I've seen a lot of Sam Wilson, Captain America. I've seen a lot of whatever that one guy is that I keep seeing. I think Merlin's going to be around a lot. I think these effects are very powerful. And I think we're going to see a lot of Merlin. Next, I think we're going to see Nightmare. I think Nightmare will make his deck good. Um, and then the next 3 cards I'm a little meh on compared to some other seasons where I've been pretty pumped with the new cards. Ancient One, Clea, and Dormammu. I could see going anyway. I'm gonna go Dormammu, Ancient One, Clea, and then I think Morgan Le Fay is clearly the worst. I think that's just a bad card. At the end of the month, I will look at these and be like, oh wow, we'll have gotten some of these wrong and some of these right, and I will keep that to myself.
I will have gotten
We should do
all of
follow.
them right, actually.
We should do follow videos, but we're not that consistent. So, um, thank you for joining Noob, Novice, and Amateur. Put your personal rankings in the comments below. And then, future people, you put where we got right and where we got wrong. Do you like Merlin's beard? Do you like Morgan Le Fay? Yeah. Like, comment, and be nice to your cat.
Subscribe.